Hello, and welcome to episode 5. It went so fast. Like, I cannot believe that we are actually like five episodes in of season 1, right? So there are a couple more episodes before we kind of take a break, recoup, and come back for season 2. But right now, we're getting started. We're getting cracking with episode 5. So I'm super excited, but give me one moment and then I'm going to share it and then we can get started. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining me, man. You came right on. So let me share this. I think I can share it. You know, technology never does what you need it to do. Ever. But it's okay. Because I'm just going to keep on going. And if I can't share it, then I'll just keep going. I'm going to go to the page because I think that's why I'm having a problem sharing it. And I'm going live a little early because I am actually going to see Black Panther tonight. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. Post. Okay, so it should be on my timeline for now. So I don't want to delay because I like to keep to my time. So tonight, I'm not even sure that I titled it right because I have a lot to talk about. And it's just from everything that I see. And I think a lot of it has to do with like Valentine's Day, the Day of Love, and just things that coming up and they make people feel a certain type of way. I know my makeup is a little crazy, but I'm trying to get in the whole view of Black Panther, so pay me no attention. That's why my whole getup looks like this. So at any rate, I want to talk about you can't pour from an empty cup. And what I mean by that is every view you see. So if we think about being a child, we talk about, you know, we play with our Barbie dolls and we are trying to set up to be somebody's wife. You know, that's what we're told. First comes marriage, then comes a baby, you know, then comes a baby in a carriage. But do they teach us how to be a woman first? So when they say, you know, it's always about preparing to be somebody's wife. But if you're trying to be somebody's wife, and we as women, we're nurturers, right, by nature, but are we nurturing ourselves, or are we just taught to nurture everyone else, but yet we feel very depleted and our spirits are just feeling deflated because we give and we give and we give. But before we become somebody's wife, before we decide to even nurture someone else, then we need to nurture ourselves. We need to pour and fill up ourselves because we want to be in these relationships so bad. We talk about being married. You see all these, you know, webinars on how to catch a man, how to be a best wife, how to do this. But no one says how to be the best woman you can be. For me, I want to be all that I can be. I was talking to a friend last night. Like she said, I want to be my man's fantasy. I want to be this. I want to be that. But how can we be that when that's our whole goal? Our goal is not to be our own best woman. So you cannot pour from an empty vessel. We're out here trying to take care of everyone else, trying to be this best wife. And I know when they're telling you to be a good wife, they're saying, you know, stand upright and you are the bride of Christ, you know, and the bride of the church. And I believe all that. But still, I just can't believe that the God that I serve would want me to just give to everyone else. Yes, life, you know, we have this gift, we have this purpose, and we certainly, you know, once we fill that up, then we give it away. But we have nothing to pour from when all we're doing is trying to give to somebody else. And for me, I want to be whole. We talk about going through a relationship and giving 100%. A lot of the times, the reason why we really can't give a lot is because we carry around this load and this whole barrenness of resentment. We resent the fact that so many people rely on us, but who do we go to when we're looking for some strength, who do we go to? Who is pouring into us? We say we want to get somebody that's going to give us the same amount, but because as women we're nurturers and it's in our DNA, that's just not always possible. It's not always possible for for a man to maybe give the nurturing side. Certainly he can take care of you, but if we want to be the best woman, because it's just not, you can't be this amazing wife if you all your life have just been focusing to have this fairy tale, like you're just in this whole fantasy world of what it is to envision yourself being a wife, but you're not envisioning yourself as being a whole woman. I want to be from head to toe a whole woman. Absolutely, that won't be all the time. I'm not on all the time, but at this point, I got to be checking for me. I got to make sure that I am enough for me, that I am not just looking to be enough for somebody else, because that's just not good enough. You know how we walk around and we say to ourselves, I am enough, and I have faith, but do we really, or are we just looking to hurry up and get to the end to belong to somebody else? And when we do belong to that person, are we still being an individual, or are we now just a part of a unit that has now taken away our identity? If you pour into yourself, if you truly know who you are as a woman, if you nurture yourself, if you pamper yourself, then you have a better chance, a better percentage of going into a relationship not already feeling depleted, not already feeling like, oh, they're going to want me to do all of this. If we're dating someone, we're preparing meals, we're thinking about all of that, but somehow it has become taboo for us to sit and have dinner by ourselves, for us to cook an amazing meal for ourselves and then be like, I married myself, I cook so good. We have to think in the sense of, I'm good enough for me. Because you have to ask yourself, would I marry me? Because are you good enough? Or are you just waiting for someone to rescue you? You can't just be sitting and waiting and hoping and praying that somebody snatches me up and marries me. Let me be whole. Let me make sure that everything that I'm willing to do for someone else, whether it be a friend, whether it be a man, whether it be your children, that you first give to yourself, because you don't want to walk around angry. You don't want to walk around blaming others because you yourself didn't make a conscious decision to take care of you. So I'm not going against anyone that's saying, let me teach you how to be a great wife. Let me teach you how to be this. But first, teach me or show me how you became whole. And are you really whole, or were you just waiting to be rescued? And I heard a couple talk about how once they got into the relationship, then all of a sudden that person, realized that they only wanted this person to rescue them. It's a couple I see on the internet all the time. And so that, right, we have to pamper ourselves. We have to dress up. We buy lingerie and we dress up for somebody else, but I want to buy some lingerie, put on my heels, put on my red bottoms or whatever kind of strappy heels I'm putting on. And then I want to stand in the mirror and look at me and appreciate me as a woman. We have to appreciate the woman. Like, we are the most beautiful creatures on this earth, and this is the year of the woman, right? So do we know what that means, or are we just repeating what we hear? Are we just following a ritual? Are we just following a program of things that we hear other people say? I want to be whole. I want to be a full cup. I look at it as a full cup and not an empty cup. But even if I look at it as a full cup, but I still feel empty, that means absolutely nothing. So we talk about speaking things into existence. You can speak it, but you still have to take action. So for me, I want to be able to say, I'm going to put this lingerie on tonight. I'm going to pour me a glass of wine. I'm going to have me a nice steak. Enjoy your company. You cannot be miserable with you and then say, now I want somebody to rescue me, because they're going to be miserable with you as well. We have to learn to be whole and be okay with the woman that God made us to be. We came, as a rib. We came to talk about exactly who we are. See, as a woman that has traveled so much for work, then I learned to appreciate me more. I learned to quiet the noise and get in a quiet place, sit down and have dinner by myself, because I was forced to do it. But then it became a habit. And then I began to learn to be like, girl, you are good enough. You are bomb. And so when I go out, people think I'm dressing up for somebody else. Guess what? I like dressing up, being cute for me. I like to look in the mirror and be like, because we all have those days like we feeling good. And then we have days where we're not. But all I can say is, as women, we now have the mentality, we have the know-how, we have the intelligence, and we have the ingredients and the experiences to not pass on to our daughters to just be a wife. Be your own woman first. Experience life and the essence of a woman. This amazing black woman that we are, all this melanin magic that we are giving out, we need to pass that on to our daughters and say, you're enough whether or not you have a husband or not. Because once you encompass and you start to enjoy the essence of the woman that you are, then you're going to attract that amazing man anyway. He's going to come along and he won't be rescuing you. He will actually be accenting all that you already are. You can't look for them to complete you. And that's what we've been taught all our lives, is to hurry up and get a wife. I heard a gentleman, he says this all the time. I am grooming my daughter to be somebody's wife. I teach her how to cook. She has to learn all these things. Are you grooming your daughter to love herself? That is very important, because in her head, if you're planting that seed that you need to be a wife, you need to learn how to cook, but you also need to learn how to love you. You need to learn how to enjoy your own company, enjoy your own time, and say, oh, this ain't so bad. Because as I said earlier, if you're miserable, if you're not okay with you, what makes you think that someone else is going to want to be okay with you? They're not going to. Now you're just going to have these two people meet, and you're just going to be bumping heads, and you're going to have resentment. And then every time, you need something, you'll be depending on them for it, because now you're depleted because you've nurtured and given out everything of you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill you up. Enjoy you. Enjoy. Don't feel like a Friday night or a Saturday night by yourself is doom. Everyone else is doing it. Well, guess what? As my mom said, if they jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff? See, what happens is we watch people on social media, and they are private failures, but they are this public success. They are more interested in how people view them as a couple than how they are without the camera on, without the onlookers and the eyes on them. So we have to say, I'm good enough. I'm okay with me first. Because if you don't, they talk about self-preservation. Sometimes as a woman, you have to be selfish, because there is an entire world that depends on us for so many things, and our children, and at our jobs, and if we're married, our husbands or our significant others, they are depending on us. So you have to say, I'm enough. And as I said, in order to start getting to that place, start doing some things by yourself. go to a Saturday matinee show by yourself. I'm not saying go jump out in the deep and go to a movie on a Friday night where you see all these couples, and then it's going to send you off and spin you off into something. I'm saying take baby steps and learn to love you, because it's kind of like a rebirth into your womanhood, because you've not been taught to love you. You've been taught to nurture and love everyone else, and then whatever is left over, then I'll have it. After a while, leftovers get stale, right? So we don't want them and we throw them out. We want to be the entree, the main course, the appetizer, and the dessert for ourselves. So start to enjoy dinner by yourselves. You don't always have to do that going out. Have a date night with yourself and enjoy a movie, and don't be looking at the movies with all these couples and this love. You look at something that's going to make you crack up, that's going to make you enjoy life, that's almost going to make you forget about all the hustle and bustle of everything that is going on in your life. Because as a single mother, I have to be on. I have to make sure that I am pouring into my daughter, pouring into my son. But at times, I'm thinking, stop calling me mine. That ain't my name. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm exhausted. And so I'm learning to just continue to love Terry and everything that she's made up of. The good, the bad, the indifferent, the ugly, all of it. But it all becomes beauty when we learn to love us. You have to exhale, take a deep breath and just let out all of the BS. You got to let it out. You have to let go of the things that are weighing you down, the people that are weighing you down. Sometimes people come just to continue. They say the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. There are distractions in your life right now that are keeping you from loving you. People who just want to take every piece and just continue to nick at you. And you have to say no more. You have to decide that you, yourself, you're enough for you. And everybody else that comes along will just be a compliment to who you are. The whole you. Head to toe, the whole you. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. And a lot of the times we just think we're going to go and we're going to go and we're going to go. And we put that little, Duracell in our back and we wind ourselves up and we like, do, 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 do. And so sometimes you have to pull the batteries out. You have to stop, take a deep breath, exhale all the BS, and sit down, and whatever your choice of beverage is, whether it's some tea, I love a good detox tea, whether it's some coffee, it's some water, it's some soda, or it's a good red wine, or a Chardonnay, or a white wine, whatever it is, you need to enjoy that by yourself, and stop always trying to, think about, how I'm gonna get this man, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, how am I gonna get to the end? Guess what? Live. Today I put manifestation. Stop waiting, live, and it will come. Stop waiting, live, and it will come. But we're sitting and waiting on someone to rescue us. Rescue yourself. Enjoy yourself, the whole you. And stop waiting to just be somebody else's wife, somebody else's, just everything. Be your everything. As I said, dress up, have dinner with yourself, go out, put your lingerie on, put them heels on, stand in a mirror and appreciate you, the essence of you. If this is truly the year of the woman, that means enjoy the woman that you are. Stand up and own you. Own who you are. Own exactly everything, the gift of your essence. They say you're the fragrance. You are Don't go out without putting on your perfume, because you know, it's something about smelling good and feeling good and looking good. Don't just decide the only time I'm going to want to look good is when I have somebody. If you want to attract somebody, you need to get your life. You need to get yourself together. I was out getting my nails done one day, and there was these ladies in there, and they were all getting pedicures, and two ladies said, "Oh, I'm getting back on my husband, and I've not gotten my feet done since we broke up, and I need to get myself together." And I thought, that is so sad that you waited all that time to pamper and take care of you, to manicure the whole you. You know how they say, you know, be polished. Make sure that you're polished. Make sure that you're loving you. Make sure that you don't wait until you get someone to start taking care of yourself, because that in itself is still exhausting. And why don't you think enough of you that you want to see you look good, that you want to see you feel good? You can almost never catch me leaving out the house without having something on that smells good, that makes me feel good about being a woman and who I am. I appreciate me, and I've not always been there. These are not easy things to do. But it's a necessary step in order for you to really be that great wife. It's necessary. You have to appreciate you, and you have to stop letting people tell you that you're just born to be a part of a relationship. Who said that I'm defined by a person that's attached to me? Have a relationship by yourself. See, we are trying to be defined by society. Half of the time, these are statistics that they take from people that are not even in our league. They'll take a statistic from an 18-year-old and then say 69% of the people said this. Well, I mean, hey, I'm 51 years old. I cannot take the same statistic, as an 18-year-old. So for me, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying the woman that I am before I'm willing to give myself to someone else and just looking for them to complete me. And I hear that all the time. Oh, you've completed me. We all may have a missing puzzle from us, but you still should be 100% as close to 100% as you possibly can be. Don't just live to be a wife. And make sure that your daughters understand their value. Make sure that they understand exactly who they are, that they know their worth, and they're not discounting it just to be accepted. Because a lot of the times that's where it starts. They start looking for acceptance as an early age. And so everything as they grow up, then they start to look for validation. We are grown women still looking to be accepted by someone. And so we feel very exhausted emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because we always are looking for acceptance, looking to be validated, when you need to validate yourself. Validate you. Know that you are good enough, because everything that you expect from someone else, you should certainly be feeding to yourself, giving to yourself. There are some things that we have been taught that we have to disconnect from, and we have to start saying, you know what, I want better for me. I want better for my daughters. I want my daughter to know her worth and stop discounting and stop being brand new. Be you and be whole and be okay with it. So that if you are with someone and you break up with them, your life doesn't shatter. You don't feel now you have to start over, that you're incomplete, because you came into it whole from the beginning, and you weren't looking for someone to rescue you. You weren't looking for someone to complete you. So what did I say are the steps that we need to take to ensure that we're a whole woman, that we're able to pour from a full being, from our full essence, and that anyone that connects with us will see that light. They'll see all that magic that we talk about, right? They'll think that we are bomb, and they'll say, okay, and then they'll want to level up because we've leveled up. Don't expect something from somebody that you've not been able to give to yourself throughout your entire life, and you're just sitting and waiting. Don't wait. Live. Don't live in waiting. Live out loud, and everything else will come. You have to believe that. That's something you have to manifest inside yourself, inside of our young girls, that they know their worth, that they're not thinking their worth is between their legs, that their worth is with their boobs hanging out, but that their worth is their entire being and everything that encompasses being an amazing woman. We are amazing people. And yes, men love to enjoy every part of us. But if we're only giving them a portion, a piece of us, then the two of us, as I said at the top of this broadcast, will certainly feel resentment towards one another. So just start to work on you. Start to enjoy yourself. Take yourself out on a date. And when you do, make sure you're cute. As much time as you would take to get ready for him, take equal as much time for yourself to get ready for you. And check yourself out in the mirror. Put those heels on. Don't be afraid of it. Get you some lingerie, put your heels on, and enjoy yourself. And watch a good movie, cuddle up with some wine, watch a comedy, not a love story. You're going to be upset. You're going to be thinking like, why am I doing this by myself? And don't get me wrong, we still will have those moments of woe is me, but they will be less when you start to enjoy exactly who you're meant to be. And that's this amazing woman. That cup will runneth over and be full, and you'll start to attract these amazing men. Because sometimes we talk about why we aren't attracting a certain person. We're attracting who we are. So you want to be able to attract somebody as amazing as you, and guess what? You'll just continue to ball out and level up together. So I thank you all for joining in on this earlier episode, because now I got to get ready and run out of here and go see Black Panther. I'm super duper excited. And as I said, this is episode 5. Make sure you guys share, make sure and comment. Let me know your thoughts. The more comments, then the more that Facebook will continue to share this video and show it to more people. So make sure that you're sharing. If it's anybody that you think will be this will be beneficial for, I certainly appreciate that. I know a lot of people will be watching the replay, so if you guys watch this, make sure you share. Thanks again. I am going to enjoy myself tonight, to see the Black Panther and take myself out. So I always make sure that, I'm on point for me, so if somebody else see it and they think I'm on point too, then that's all the more better. But be a whole woman. Stop living and waiting. Live, and everything else will come. Thank you guys so much, and fill up your cup. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.